Yes.
Hopefully, no audio issues then. What's going on? You, two, world, Steve, Vinny, Dave, IRP, number 136. Bit of a fun one in the sense that hopefully it never happens. If it does, it will not be fun. As the placeholder shows you, it will not be fun. Scenarios. There's some folks out there thinking in their magic, like, what if machine lean back in their chair and what would it be like if X was Y and Y was Z? How cool would that be? Huh? Let's think about that. Well, no. Let's think about shit that I know has happened to people. Some of these issues. And it's almost like, do you want to get kicked in the dick or sit on a cactus? What do you want to do? I mean, it's A or B. There isn't a C. Except see you in the ER. That's the only thing. So, I've got some of them up on the banner deal. We'll get to them as time allows, as it will allow it, but as the progression of the show. So, anyway, with that sort of format business being laid out, how was the last week been, Vinny?
Vinny?
There's three of us here.
Here's the problem.
All
I hear from Dave is echo chamber, barely could hear him. So I'm trying to pay attention. And I thought he said Vinny, but I was just waiting.
See, volume is low, and I even edited it. I even changed it on here, and it's still lower than normal.
I could hear you. I can hear me. David, unfortunately not.
I can hear him.
Yeah, but it's not clear like he usually is.
No, it's low. It's like really low. Cece, turn it down. Dave, turn it up.
I did. I have. It's all the way up. That's because I was looking.
Oh, there he is. There you are, David.
Much better.
Like for Vinny, mine is low for Vinny.
You guys sound like a hot mess.
See, I can hear a certain voice in the background.
Yeah, well, how could you miss that?
See, now it's a little better there.
How about now?
How about now?
Okay, so apparently I'm louder. Just got to move this microphone a little closer to me. The last week's been insane because all it's been is last minute school stuff and friggin' soccer. And I won't get into the soccer because I don't need to have any more angina tonight. I had my feel. I'm passing a kidney stone, so I'm feeling wonderful right now. Probably brought off by the last time I had a kidney stone was soccer related because I about had a nervous friggin' breakdown over the crap. So I'm just gonna pray for Sunday. Pray for Sunday. 2 half days of school, 2 more days of tryouts, and I'm done.
It's 9 o'clock. You got to brush your teeth, get your headgear on, and go to bed.
You heard that, Dave. Go brush your teeth, get your head out of your ass, and get ready for bed.
Actually, it was put on your headgear, but
Keep your head on your ass.
that's usually, man, you're being mean to Dave. That's usually reserved for Steve.
It's all right.
Steve a little leeway. He was there for C yesterday.
I've had 39 kidney stones since I was 21. I could drink I could have all the friggin' water pop it doesn't matter anymore. I'm gonna get them. They're gonna appear out of the solar system. So I thank you, Scott, but I've tried everything. I've cut down on pop. I drank that container of water was 1.5. I drank 3 liters of water yesterday. So apparently Scott's in the same boat I'm in with the chronic kidney stones. So yeah, they suck.
Drink more beer.
I think alcohol might work, might kill the infections. Yeah. Yeah. Either way you win, make sure I do it on the plant floor. They always said, well, die on the plant floor, you get double. They go, my old boss, he said, who retired, he said, we'll just drag you outside, act like you were going for a walk. I looked at him, I said, Chuck, is anybody going to believe that I was out there walking for my exercise, for my good nature of health, or that I died trying to get something off the plant floor out to a customer? I think that'd be, as they kids say, sus. So
Very.
just give the
Hey.
full amount and be done.
Hey, we started walking.
I do around the pitches at while C's practicing. So try to get some exercise. But at that particular time, we were knee deep in projects and work. So the chances of them believing that I was out walking at that current juncture would have been less than believable.
Anything else? Yeah, because I'm with you. Let's not get into soccer.
The Mirror Blues on its way here from Sarasota. I got the notification from eBay, so it's authenticated. So it should be here in the next couple of days. The other 2 cards that they were little cards that I just put $1 bid on. Couple, I think $5 a piece. And I pulled them down and they got here today. So I got those. So the other one should be shortly behind. So that was my big worry. So it's on its way. That's number 2 parallel of the 90s that I need. I just need my mirror gold down. The top parallels will be done. And then, well, I'd still need the gold from 96, 97 Black Diamond. So that's another one that's on the list. So
You like tagging out or what? Just
wrangling dogs.
Whatever you want to call it there. Really? Are they going to voice their opinion this evening?
Apparently so.
So before I talk about my week, I have not much really to add other than work is work. So I won't say I bought into the hype, but gotta have the booster pack too.
Did I open them?
do you?
No, I'm not going to open them. And the reason for it is everybody's opening them. This is the first year they've done this. A lot of hype, a lot of pumping. But everybody's opening it. At some point, 10 years down the road, somebody's going to be like, what? Prism did a monopoly? What the hell? I want one of those. There are not going to be many out there because everybody's open, especially the booster packs, or I should say the booster box. But it's one of those in which, like, the booster, it's the same price as a blaster, same number of cards. So it's not like you're paying excessively more. The game has so many cards, and it's $10 more
So $40 for the big one.
for the game. And it comes with one starter pack, and then it says 2 prism packs. Now I don't know exactly what the starter pack includes. I hadn't read up on it, but I happened to stumble across it, and I'm like, they sold out really fast when it was a thing. And obviously it's still popular enough that Target only allows 1 booster per order. That's it. The drop down box is quantity 1. So, like I said, I'm not calling it buying into the hype. It's the fact that just seeing posts from people continuing to opening the stuff. And at some point, like I said, there can only be a finite amount produced. And it's Prism. First year of doing something, to me, it's a small price to pay to sit on it. So, Scott, I'm not going to open it. So I couldn't tell you. My best suggestion, go find a YouTube video of somebody actually opening the game. And see. Because I'm not going to touch it. Not going to touch it. And of course, they came from 2 different places. Actually, with Target tape on the box too, which I thought was interesting. But then again, it's not like ordering cards through Target. It's different. So, well, yeah, I've had these for a little over a week now. So, I mean, here's the back of it if you want to make me big real quick. So then there's that. So there's I'm guessing the 3 packs it comes with. So, kind of give you an idea. No offense, Scott, I don't care what he says. I don't rely on other people's opinions. I think for myself. And like I said, just stumbling across, seeing a few people on Instagram, not getting enough of opening the blasters. I'm like, why not? So they're still available on Target, Orlando. Just do a search for Prism Monopoly. They've got the game and the booster. And at least last time I checked, and that was yesterday, I was just curious to see if they still had any online, and they were still available as of yesterday. So if you're willing to tie up, $70, to me, it's a small price to pay. If you can afford to do that. I'm not saying go run out and and do it if it's your last $70 and you can't pay, part of your water bill or something. But it's kind of a cool concept. Like I said, it's kind of a cool concept. If they do it for like football, I'd probably do the same thing. I find it interesting that they decided to start with basketball, but hey, it's other avenues, other partnerships. Of course, if they do football, they'll have to do it within the next 18 months or so before Fanatics takes over the license. Yeah, year and a half, because 2020, because they had it through 25, wasn't it?
I think
10
so.
years, 2015. Well, they got it in 2015, but they didn't start producing until 20. Like they didn't have the full license until the 2016 season, because Top still had products out there in 2015. So my guess would still be runs out 2025. Like I said, something different. It's, I normally I don't talk about shit like this because at the end of the day, it's none of anybody's business. And it's my own personal feelings and opinions about things. But, there's also this. I know a lot of people have seen these. New packaging, new concept, new idea when it comes to tops. Why not? I mean, oh, there it is. That's the big draw. But why not?
The Target in Ohio, when we were at that tournament, probably had 15 of those sitting there.
And what did I tell you? I was debating on picking up a couple.
And that's when we found out about ghosts. So
yeah,
I was not in the state of mind to think about hashtag invest to the moon. So
there you go. Scott's opened 2 of them. I haven't. I won't open the one I have or the 2 I have. I only went with 2. They sold out really quick when they got uploaded the first time. They got restocked, and then they were actually available for a lot longer. But let's face it, Top Series 1 has been out for a long time. People were getting burned down on it. So it stayed available a little bit longer the second go round. And that's when I took the opportunity and snagged a couple. But it's all about doing stuff within your means without going crazy, because there's still a bunch of stuff that I'd like to get. It's just not feasible right now. My biggest concern is making sure to not miss out on the opportunity for things in which I feel will sell out sooner than later. Because then it's like, well, shit, shoulda, coulda, woulda. And I'm trying to not get into a position to where it's shoulda, coulda, woulda. So there's a lot of things that people don't know other than Vinny and Dave and Bob. But, it's staying within your means. It's continuing to do something that you enjoy. And if it doesn't cause issues to tie up some capital and stuff for an extended period of time, take advantage of it. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to go buy a case, buy a couple, buy the maximum, like for Target is 3, if that's the way that you decide to go. But everybody talks about sitting on stuff from an investment perspective. Outside of us and Carlos that I know of, bottom line is the whole basis of all this is supply and demand. Supply dries up, demand typically increases as time goes on. So what it's not like that. I'm not sitting, I mean, nobody can bank on things going up 10x, 20x, that type of shit. You know, those are enigmas. Those are not something that happens all the time. But even if you buy something from 2021 and you sit on it, already got a decent rookie class, superstars in the making, still doing very well in the league. 10 years from now, it could be a 5x, could be a 10x, depends on the product. You just don't know. We saw it in 2017, 2018 products, if I'm not mistaken, for basketball. Was it 17, 18 with Luka?
18, 19.
18, 19. Okay, thank you. So it's, I mean, look at what that product did in the secondary market within a matter of a couple of years after he blew up. Look at the retail prices for that product. Even the low end shit still like shot through the roof. 2017 product for football with Mahomes. It's like, this isn't rocket science. This is common sense. We talk about it all the time. Think for yourself, do your own research, and if you feel like something's a potential, do it. In the end, it's not like you're losing substantial amounts of money. It's not like you're going and spending $165,000 on a Steph Curry RPA patch autograph in 2023, and he freaking somehow kills somebody in a drunk driving accident, and that freaking shit just tanks. It's not the same situation. So take a chance, take a risk if you can afford it. It doesn't hurt. But don't rely on somebody out there to tell you to buy or sell. You do you when you feel the time is right. Because from a selling perspective, the best time was yesterday anyways. You've already passed it. So anyways, other than that, work's been okay. Been under a little bit of pressure. Developing KPIs, fun fucking times, let me tell you. It's the bane of my existence as of late. But on the flip side, it's trying to get me to have more ownership of my area, forcing the split in the reporting on ops reviews for KPIs, focusing on North America and international as two separate entities instead of them being reported together. So I actually get to start talking instead of letting the dumbass in France or wherever the hell he is talk in circles and make excuses without knowing what the hell he's talking about. So 2 of my people got moved under 2 managers. So my team has shrunk, which finally some stuff is starting to progress. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, I will get the person I wanted on my team. So that'll be a bonus. and then I can start focusing on more on the stuff that I need to focus on. But like I said, mine's work related crap. So, anyways, soapbox retract. Really? Silence?
Rare, very rare.
Did I like blow your mind or something, Dave? Did I like
Absolutely.
okay, I call bullshit. But
No, but
surprised that I actually opened my mouth and said some of this shit. Not that I haven't said it before. It's not like, hey guys, you need to sit down because I'm about to blow your mind.
no, we've had those discussions, those texts before with all that opportunity to buy in and whatnot for some of the retail and on that on that level, but Monopoly Prism and the Hockey Oracle. I'm flummoxed. I've been thrown for a loop, as the kids would say.
Why?
Again,
Because
it's not like you're fucking hoarding 87 Tops vending boxes. I mean, it just it makes sense.
I'm not
Instead
that
of
guy
buying a fucking
anyways.
hobby box, instead of buying a hobby box and taking again, I'll say $800 bath because that seems to be about the fucking going rate, maybe SRP right out of the gate. For Prism, the same configuration as regular Prism's been, with 12 or 15 count packs per box of hobby. Let's just say hypothetically, like, yeah, $70 for a couple things. That ain't fucking bad. We've spent much more on much worse that, again, you knew it wasn't going to be great, but you still jumped in and then turned out like shit. Like, you can do it. Do it. If you can't, don't sit there and, again, keep up with the Joneses. You don't need to.
100%.
Smiths. I can't remember what that saying is. So,
Or the Wilsons.
so difficult.
It's like I said, it's one of those in which I had been thinking about it for some time when I heard about it, and it's like, do I do it? And I sat on it and I waited, and of course, it sold out. And it's like, okay, well, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And I know Vinny has really started grasping a hold of that concept more so than he did in the past. Things happen for a reason. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be, or it's not. And yep. And I happened to do a peek one day, and it's like, holy shit, they're back in stock. Oh, and they actually had the boosters to go with it. Fuck it.
Is that the technical term?
Yes. Fuck it.
Thought so.
So
LA Pat's got a good point. It's a great time to buy. I was listening to Rudy from Alpha Investments. I really never paid attention to him before. I've listened to his stuff before. And he was talking about the time it was a Pokemon thing. He went back and he was saying at the time I couldn't give these away. Now they're $485 a box. And I have them because I couldn't sell them at the time, and I got stacks. We went from Ghost howling to the cone-headed dog crying.
That's funny.
He's stuck with his cone till at least Friday because, as you know, his nose got whatever happened to it, and he's got 6 stitches in there that might come out Friday. So this cone's driving him nuts. We took it off for like 5 minutes yesterday, and he was just ecstatic. But I had to hold him because if he rubs his nose against anything, the stitches might come out, and they got to stay in there for a while longer. So, anywho, yeah, Rudy from Alpha Investments. If you ever watched, he has about a 59-minute video about starting a card shop in 2023, and if
gaming store.
TG,
Make sure you clarify.
Yeah,
gaming store.
A gaming store. But you know what? You could probably add that to
So here's the thing. And you're right. You can apply a lot of the same concepts and the same dynamics and the costing on a lot of things. But TCG, most of it, unless you're going all out in collector's boxes and stuff like that, there's not as many options when it comes to sports cards, because you have the 4 major sports, and then if you want to throw soccer in there and things along those lines, and each manufacturer produces 627 and a half products per year, it is a little bit different. Yep. But you're right, a lot of the same concepts would apply.
But for us, I think the one he was doing about Pokemon, about people invested in wax and cards, and even the sports card radio guys, we're in a bear market. It's time to buy if you have the cash flow to save for when it's a bull market, and then you take your profits. Then, I mean, this is coming from a bunch of collectors. We're sure talking about hashtag invest a little bit, but you know what?
We get it though. It's
but it's always our goal to have a self-sustaining fund for our cards. Yep. We don't want to use money A and B that could go to trips to wherever, or buy something like a TV for the family or something like that. You don't want to use that money. You want to use the extra money that's could be generated from cards, then boom. I mean, that's why I think when it was my generation, our generation, since you're a part of it, the art of the trade was it's nothing. The art of the deal, the grind, and all this. Dude, we were doing that back in 92. Tim Wakefield's were like liquid cash in Pennsylvania. I'll give you 2 Tim Wakefields. Give me that Piazza and whatever. It's not like anything's new. Everything old's new again. It's just the people that haven't been here look for guidance, and they get those guys.
And then Jeff comes to the table with this like phenomenal.
That's true. It goes back to, like I said, a cards on an infinite loop. Goes from, we're going to use names, and I don't want to, they're not specific. We'll go Roth Cards to Santiago to Sasha T to King of Cards to Card Collector 2 to who all these people making 5%, card tanks, and then it finally gets to Joe Schmo John Bafufta, whoever. That's a classic one of mine. That's from the PA Senate. One dude was talking when he goes, I don't know, maybe John Bafufta. I'm like, John Bafufta. I said, that's a good one. I'll try to remember that one. And it just popped in my head. He finally says, I'll give you $50 for it. So here's a $300 card that's went around 7 or 8 times, and then finally I'll say, I'll give you $50 for it. And the last guy, I think it was Neo Cards and Comets, the last guy holding a hot card that's the grenade. He's the one that takes the pin out and boom. He's the one that loses $150 on it because it went from 500 down to 150. And this guy's like, I'll give you $50 for it. And I've seen it in videos with Mac Jones. Guy had a sticker price of $350, and he said I sold it for like $50, or he traded it or something. It's
So
like it's until it's in a collector's hands, the true price is never realized. In my opinion.
So, and I was going to pose the question, and this is for the collective, but I'm going to direct it towards Jeff specifically. Being that Jeff worked for the manufacturers as a collector and continues to be a collector to this day, are you in agreement with Vinny's statement? The true price of something is never realized until it's finally in the hands of a collector. It doesn't matter if it sold for $1.5 million yesterday. At the end of the day, when it ends up in the hands of a collector for $250,000, granted, none of us would be in that ballpark because unless we win the lottery, that's not feasible for any of us. Okay, maybe it is for a few, but I'm just speaking in generalities here. To me, Vinny and I have been on this same idea and concept for the longest time. It doesn't matter how many times a card sells for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. At the end of the day, when it ends up with the collector is not going to usually pay that kind of cash. It may be close in certain situations. And that's fair. And that's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment. Because, a lot of people talk about, Kobe rookies or Brady rookies. And I'm not talking contenders. I'm not talking SP Authentic. I'm talking lower end Fleer Tradition, Pacific, Upper Deck, Encore. What I would deem mid-end products. A lot of people are still going to want a Brady rookie. From a collector perspective, depending on your collecting philosophy, a lot of people wouldn't mind having a Brady rookie. There are quite a few products out there, so supply is quite high. But the supply outweighs the demand. So therefore, on a lot of the lower end stuff, you're probably going to see one of these as it pertains to potential pricing inconsistencies. My guess, I hadn't looked at any details. I hadn't gone and pulled reports. But a lot of people wanted Luka's. I'd still love to have a Luka rookie. And I'd love to have a Prism. But I'm still not paying the price for it.
A non-silver Luka. I watched. It was a trade and a card show. The price on that. So they were going for like $600-700, just a regular Prism and a 10, $120.
And I don't even have to have it graded.
Yeah.
Give me a freaking raw version, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
If I want to grade it at some point in the future, then I'll do that. But I'm satisfied with just the basics. If you can get a 9 for the same price that you can get a raw, Well, hell yeah, jump all over it. Why wouldn't you?
Even an 8.
Even an 8. So I don't know. I'm glad to see things getting back to normal. Okay, normal is probably not the right word, but stabilized. Normalized is a better word. Pre-pandemic hype and crap. Are we seeing the end of an era? No, because cards are still selling for much higher than what they did pre-pandemic. Are we going to see card prices drop below pre-pandemic levels? Depends on the player, depends on the time, depends on the circumstance. So yeah, and part of that has to do with timing though too, LA Pats. And I wish I could go back and find it, but there's like the philosophy that's out there of when to sell, when to buy for specific sports. And, being the off season of football, this is the prime time to buy. Let's face it, because we're coming up on the start of the football season. That's when you're going to start seeing things slowly up on the uptick as the NFL season approaches. But it's the same for, hockey, baseball, basketball. It's the same type of concept. But with those sports, it seems to be a little bit more. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. I won't say it's sporadic, but it's different. Like football, you can almost bank on it. Into the football season, after the Super Bowl, you'll still see a minor uptick on superstar players that did well that may or may not win specific honors. Certain Hall of Fame players, like LA Pats mentioned. But after like a couple weeks after the Super Bowl, things start kind of dipping down through the offseason. And then they ramp back up. So it's interesting to say the least. And no, this has nothing to do with Fanatics either, Ty. It's everybody keeps trying to focus on, what's going to be different with Fanatics. And here's the thing, we don't know. None of us knows. It's all going to be speculation or hypotheticals. And I'm speaking for the three of us. None of us care for hypotheticals because that's all they are. They're hypotheticals. But when you look at things and you think of it from a manufacturer perspective, there's a lot of unanswered questions that a lot of us have. But we can't, and I'm going to just go out and say it. Nobody can come out and say that they're going to completely screw the pooch. There's too much money to be made here. So for those people who are thinking it's, oh my God, it's going to be the end of the world, shut up. Because we don't know. You can't, you got to at least give them a chance before you start basically saying, oh, this is bullshit. So amen, Jeff. And I can definitely agree with that because I was a set collector, so I know all about it.
I still am. So
well, and so am I, just not in the capacity that I once was. So just keep in mind, everybody. Everybody needs to take a step back, take a deep breath, and let shit play out. Let it play out. Are they going to make mistakes? 100%. 100%. But is it going to completely change everything? Is it going to make things worse? Is it going to make things better? Is it going to be unchanged? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's all going to be assumptions, guesses, unless you have some sort of inside knowledge, which my guess is most people don't have it. It's creating potential undue panic. And it's not needed. It's not needed. Because right now we don't know. It's just the beginning. Topps branded products are the first products that Fanatics technically has produced. Has it been horrible? No. Is it mass produced? Yes. But what's the difference? It's like that all the time.
Mhm.
So are we going to yell, scream, gripe, and complain that, oh, they increased the print run? No, because people are still going to buy it. It's Topps flagship. It's a hobby staple from a baseball perspective. Dave, you get a complete set every year. It's a hobby staple.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter how many hobby blasters, jumbo, funky packaged crap, the giant box or whatever the hell they call it, which technically is like a mega box. Who cares? Hell, when was it? Was it 2020 Topps Series 1 when it came out right around the pandemic? That shit was like flying off the freaking shelves, man.
It was
My
on
wife
fire.
found that too. My wife found one blaster box with multiple trips to Walmart. One. So it's everybody likes to bitch about stuff, and at the end of the day, it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. So it's like pick your battles, right?
I was in 2 Walmarts. Anything I want. Stock to the brim. Stock to nothing. It looks like nothing has moved, has been touched. So, and like I said, I was at a Target in Ohio, a month and a half ago. Stock to the top. So everybody says the retail game's over. It was never a game to begin with. And they're like, retail was supposed to be for fun and this and that. I'm like, again, this is nothing new.
Yeah, but an argument to that though is who says retail was meant to be for fun? That's how a lot of people
Put sets together.
Bought their product was
Yeah.
retail because they couldn't afford hobby.
Yeah.
So the whole retail was for fun type thing is just a freaking complete, utter asinine statement to even make in the first place.
Yeah.
But
I'll refrain from revealing said ass. Excuse my language. But
I don't, me though, Vinny,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I could give two shits because it's on the short list of people, I'm sure.
yes.
So from that perspective, it doesn't surprise me.
Yes.
It's no different. Ty, I'm going to call you out briefly, not in a negative way. Ty sent me a message yesterday or the day before. He overheard somebody saying that the downtowns are going to be the next PMG. They're going to be as valuable as PMGs. And Ty, what was my response? They must be smoking some good crack. Because in no way, shape, form, or fashion is there ever going to be anything that sniffs the original PMGs. The original. I'm not talking Fleer Retro. I'm not talking the new stuff. I'll call it stuff because it's not garbage. the new stuff, nothing is ever going to compare to the original. And how can anybody on this earth with a brain claim that downtowns even hold a candle to the rarity of PMGs when only parallels of downtowns are serial numbered?
Mm-hmm.
And those only are in certain products. Like Optic. Optic just came out. Downtowns are in it with a good old Optic logo. And of course, they have parallels. I'm sorry. Terrell Davis is in downtowns. He was in the Donruss version. Nice card. At the time, not paying that. Not going to do it. Optic fucking comes out $610 for an Optic TD downtown. The Pandora version, numbered to 25, sold for just a touch above that. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, both those cards combined total what was paid for the 06 National Treasures NFL Logo Shield Autograph 101. 2 cards, one numbered to 25, one not serial numbered, out of a freaking 2022 product. Are you fucking shitting me?
But again, it's going to be like that. 600, 600, 600, 600. 6 months, it'll be 500, 500. 8 months, 400, 400. And then just.
I'm patient. I'm a patient guy. I've been a patient guy for a long time. But it's like I don't understand that $610. So that is twice the amount that somebody paid for an Optic downtown version, which is the same fucking card, compared to the Donruss months prior at half the price. Explain to me, like I'm a 5-year-old, how that makes any freaking sense to anybody.
So what, does the one just have Optic on it?
That's the only difference.
I agree with Dave.
It may have the chromium finish to it, but it's pretty much the same damn card. They look the same.
Identical.
You're right. I need to call my star witness. She's not in the courtroom right now.
Here comes the 2 Utes.
No,
Okay.
I need Mona Lisa Vito with general card collecting knowledge to come to the stand.
Yeah. Mary Magdalene. Where's our hobby going?
Yeah. So here's the gist of what he sent me. Will they be sought after? Okay, I can't argue against that. They are a case hit. I get it. They're pretty cards, big time names. I can't argue against it. But to put them in the same ballpark as a PMG, not anywhere freaking close. Not anywhere close.
No.
Not anywhere close. So, didn't mean to call you out, Ty, but I had to share that because, I've been on a little bit of a partial tangent this evening, and it's like, I need to bring this up to the larger collective here. And they will. LA Pats, they will. They're case hits. They're pretty looking cards. I personally think the color blasts are better looking cards. My own personal opinion. They still sell well, but it's like somebody out there has pumped the kabooms in the downtowns. Because like the home team advantage. Is it home team advantage out of Tops? Hometown advantage, home team advantage. It's a take on the downtown.
Mhm.
I kind of like that design a little bit better.
Yep.
Like I said, it's my personal opinion, but it's I get the collectability. I get a lot of that, but there are times in which it's like, holy hell. And then you look at shit from the 90s, case hits that are 10 times better looking cards than these ever, like anybody could potentially fathom. They sell for 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks.
Mhm.
And people like Dave go freaking just sucks them up all day long. So, and that still is a collect what you like, collect what you enjoy still. Because those were enjoyable times for Dave. So, the zebra prisms are nice. I haven't held one, but anyways, I digress. Should we actually move to the topic?
Well,
Since I'm a little fired up here. Benny's a little fired up, or was a few minutes ago.
Yeah, the kidney stone's firing me up. There we go. Oh, Lord. Like passing a baby through a. Oh, Lord
Yes,
Jesus.
we don't need an explanation. We all understand. We all get it. Everybody that's here in the chat,
Yeah.
we all get it.
No, I don't give a shit. Excuse my language again. That's the second one tonight, Dad. Sorry, but good God, I could care less. I was looking today. All of a sudden, a 2022-23 out of, I think it's extended. Lemieux had a canvas card. First one that popped up, $115. This is what's called patience. 3.5 hours later, $30. That sounds about right for a Legends short print, because usually the Legends are SSP. I'm like, that sounds about right. I made them offer. They took the offer, and now I have it coming. But $118, and that was US, whatever it was in Canadian. I sent it to the doctor, and I'm like, this is nuts. $118. Day with the Cup, maybe, which is basically a case hit. Somewhere in that realm. I won't say for sure because I don't like to misquote. But it's harder to find a day with the Cup Lemieux that he's basically, I think he's on a golf course, which is probably his backyard, that chalet that he basically has in Pittsburgh. And that's a harder card to find than the canvas. That I could see maybe 100 and some bucks. But the canvas, SSP, $40 sounds about right, given the market and knowing it and having all the canvas cards for him now. I had them all till this one popped. So,
No, now you still have them all.
yeah, I have them all.
So I, on the other hand, I don't want to say I'm excited. I'm pleased that TD finally has a downtown. Because like I said, I think they're cool cards. But not that cool of cards. Like at some point, I'm sure I will I will own one in both variations, but not for a while because that's just
The
one.
hype
I'm
will
not
die.
do what?
The hype will die.
Did who?
I said the hype will die.
Oh, I thought you said somebody like Hypel died, and I was like, what? Who?
Rest in peace, Iron Sheik.
Yes, but and to me, I don't think it's the hype. It's the fact of you're dealing with people who put that set together too. Ever since the initial run of downtown and the growing popularity in the investor and influencer space, people like to put the sets together. And that's why, you see a lot of the higher prices early on. But, $610 for an optic version downtown, it's stupid. No. No. So just for context, like 435 or something. Something about what I paid for that. Number to 5. This 3 Hall of Famers and a dud, but 3 Hall of Famers, 435 or $610 for a case hit downtown optic variation. You tell me.
Math and statistics.
Statistics?
That's what I said. Statistics.
No, statistics. I don't know where you got your statistics.
Apparently not from a book I read.
Fun with Dick and Jane, man. Come on.
I've never seen that movie.
It's all right. It's all right, but it's all a take on like the whole Enron thing. Insider trading company goes completely belly up, and CEO still gets off with mega buku bucks while everybody else is like sunk. So, and it's Jim Carrey. So it's got some humor.
Who's the
But
lady
anyways,
that plays in there?
Tia
Leone. Okay. Yep. Okay. Now I remember what it is. Exactly, Dryden.
When I was 10 or 11, at that point in time, yes, but that's changed since then. That has definitely changed since then.
Mine would have been the same.
I loved Elway growing up, and that's how I became a Broncos fan, was because of Elway. Like I said, still one of my all-time favorite players, but he's not my favorite player. Now, he's still up there. But 100%.
If you'd asked me if I would have had a soccer PC, I'd have called you a lunatic. But now I definitely do.
Yeah, see, that's I want to say something about this, and I'm sure Vinny will have a retort. A lot of people talk about how, seeing a lot of kids at shows and everything else, and that the hobby is thriving because of the amount of youth that's in the hobby. My guess, 30% of those are actually doing it for the actual hobby, for the enjoyment, for the collecting aspect. The rest of it, the rest of them, because of YouTube and social media, they see these people able to make shit tons of money. And that's what that's what drew them to the space. So of course they're not going to have a favorite player. It's whoever is most popular or the most valuable at that point in time. Exactly, LA Pats. Exactly. We want the hobby to be, we want it to continue to thrive. And in order for it to thrive, youth has to come to the table. But too many people are still in the space for the wrong reasons. Okay, I can't say for the wrong reasons, for reasons that we don't, and I don't want to say we don't approve of. You have to have all types of people in the space. That's what makes it work. You have to have your dealers. You have to have your suppliers. You have to have your distributors. You have to have your collectors, your investors, your flippers. You have to have all of those in order for it to be a good, sustainable environment. But it's still it's things are still cattywampus. There's too many of these and not enough of these. And I know everybody knows what I'm talking about. We have too many of the investors and the flippers and that type of stuff than what we do the collectors. And until things kind of start leveling out or they start teetering the other way, that's when we'll know for sure if the hobby is thriving. And that's the thing, Paul, it could be. I haven't been to a show, so I don't know. And not to mention, when I go to a show, I'm not going to be a dealer, so I can't have any of those type of interactions. So it's could be. Could be. 10%, 15%. It's always possible. So it's, and that's commendable, LA Pats, that you're wanting to spread the love. But on the flip side, I have a question for you. You can choose to answer it if you want. If a kid tells you the answer and you give them a couple cards, and then lo and behold, you find out later that it's like, let's say it was Tom Brady. I'm just throwing it out there. You find out later that somehow, shape, form, or fashion, he took those two cards that you gave him for free and went and sold them somewhere. Would you be pissed? Would it change your thought process and wanting to give somebody something for free? I mean, I get it. Great thing to do. Very commendable when it comes to doing stuff for the kids. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, Dave, you can come back now. Please and thank you. Since we went on for another 10 minutes when I talked about if we should start actually moving into
Gave time for Dave to eat.
Yes, Dave had time to eat. So I'm going to shut up for a while.
Hypothetical number one.
This also is meant for the chat. Horror scenarios. Which one would it be for anybody in the chat who cares to answer the question? Vinny, would you care to answer the question?
buy my own stuff. I'd rather buy my own stuff because backyard breaks, nah. Maybe David Adams, maybe Cardsmith breaks. And even Cardsmith breaks, you don't get like the singles, like to build a set. Husky here.
Most breakers don't send commons.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
it's like for me, if I won't even go higher end. Say if I got a box like bought into a break for something, and all you get's the Young Guns and the inserts. Well, I'd like to put the other stuff together, but ain't gonna happen. But if it's with them, I just once you've said it before, and Dave said it 1,000 times. Once you pull some maneuver that's a little bit questionable, it's hard for us old school people to say, you know what, I'll give them a second shot. Well, these guys have probably had second, third, fourth shots. No, that's all right. Like I said, I'll buy a case of higher end product and get all the redemption and nah. Well, I thought so too, Michael, but it's here I am. No, I just absolutely not with them. They've pulled too many maneuvers that are questionable, and a lot of those other guys too. Gals, people. I don't want to not include everybody, but there's breakers that just once you pull that maneuver, it's hard to trust them. It is what it is. David,
I'd probably buy the case, get all redemptions for your hits, and sell the redemptions. Like, well, if I take a bath on it, you know what? There won't be a Trevor Lawrence Kaboom Gold or whatever the fuck it was. And guess what? At least I'll get something back. I know I'm getting something. With them, as Steve mentioned, a lot of breakers don't send base. A lot of them don't send if it's like, so you bust a case to, for whatever reason, let's say prestige, and they've got the one insert per pack. Like the passport. There's been a few like cool die cut acetate deals. Like a rookie class, like they'll have like I'm guessing if it's like that Wayamamba or whatever for basketball, his stuff will ship. But I mean, if it's like the number 30th pick, number 54th pick, I don't believe they're going to be shipping. You'll be getting those too if you bust your own case. So it breakers like everyone said, it's you have to find someone that doesn't have a fucking black eye or skeletons in the closet. Not like there's only a couple out there that don't, but if you're looking for folks that are just, there isn't a gimmick there. There's not a fucking, they're not playing up to the camera. They are out there, but you want the attention horrors of like the backyard breaks and the ilk like that, which will probably be festering in Chicago as well. Then have fun with them. If you get fucked over, buy them well. Told you so.
And why our fanatics, overlords, and other groups decide to back these guys. You know what?
It's money.
Agreed.
It's following and money,
Yeah.
because they're always going to go with the people that can reach the largest audience. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I
This
know.
is a business, and we've seen it time and time again.
Remember there was a thing called business ethics?
What's that?
Yeah, exactly.
What's that? So, speaking from experience, when I was doing personal box breaks years ago, my stipulation was inserts, numbered, and hits. That is what I shipped. If someone wanted certain base cards, like of their team or of a player, all they had to do was ask. It didn't change the shipping price. So but that was also then. And that's when most of a lot of the breakers were breaking higher and stuff. So the bulk of everything was serial numbered. So at that point, like, everything shipped, right? Like you said, Dave, nowadays, if it's not numbered, the definitions for a hit have changed. Anything that's serial numbered, jersey, autograph, manufactured patch, that's now a hit. But your base inserts, if it isn't numbered, don't expect to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't expect to get it. But to answer the question, I'm like everybody else. I know only LA Pats was the only one who really answered the question. But I would rather deal with the redemptions than to sit through a break with those guys. One, because of history. Two, because they're annoying as fuck. And three, it seems like it takes forever and a day for them to even finish a break. Like, to sit and watch Chad back in the day, True 17, do an exquisite break that would fill almost instantaneously, and it would still take an hour, hour and a half to break.
Mm-hmm.
But at least there was conversation, like legit conversation.
Yeah.
Not freaking a bunch of bantering back and forth with somebody else who's in the room type situation. Now, even from that perspective, Blog TV, you had what, 100 people in a room, 150 people in a room maximum?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So a little bit less number of people in the comments, but still, I'm still going to go with breaking my own shit and dealing with the redemptions, because like you said, at the end of the day, if you don't want to take a chance, sell the redemptions and at least get some sort of reimbursement. With backyard, depending on the card or whatever, you may never see it. Prime example, the Lawrence Kaboom to 10. Yeah, I'm going to be the bad guy. Yeah, we can't give that away. What do you mean you can't give it away? No. And then all the other freaking shady cockamamie crap that kind of went on the background type situation. And supposedly somebody ended up getting the card, but it was I'm sure one of their pals, from what I've heard or gathered or understood it to be. But yeah, there's only one person that I would break with, and that's Chris. If Nick came back, I would break with Nick. If Denny came back and did breaks, I would break with Denny.
Mm-hmm.
I would break with Tyson. because those individuals I trusted and they did it right. So amen, Paul. People do equal shit. I read this one, Dave, and I'm like, can there please be a C? I'd rather take a bullet to the head. Because I think there's one flaw in this statement. SCI team of quote unquote experts. I don't think that exists because they may give the data, but Jeff probably has some feedback in what he actually wants to convey. Or they set the topic and he talks about it based on his expertise. So I'm actually going to go with the first one. Only because I do have an interest in vintage. Not so much in the baseball realm, even though that's where I'll say his knowledge resides. But I can at least deal with his voice. And I know that seems really petty, but I can at least deal with listening to him outside of his intro. I could actually listen to him.
Well, you could do that in person too. You're not terribly far from him.
Allegedly, I may do something that could or could not land me in jail. Allegedly. So I'm actually going to have to go with the first one. I know that's kind of hard to believe, but to me, there's the knowledge in the vintage world to me is not as vast in the collecting space or in the YouTube space. Although we've seen a lot more channels come up that deal specifically in vintage, I enjoy kind of hearing some of the details and specifics of some of the variations and so on and so forth. So even though I'm not a baseball guy, I know there's value in vintage. There's always been value in vintage. There will continue to be value in vintage. I'd rather listen to BBC. So that's where I'm at with that one. Yes,
I'd do the
you're up
first
next.
one, but I would have earbuds in where Dre beats on.
That's cheating, Dave.
Where does it say?
Please. Yeah.
Remember, horror scenarios, as in there's no caveats, there's no CDE, there's not if then. Listen to him. Listen. Therefore, having to listen, not listen to something else at the same time.
Plus, the time.
More stay in the time?
No. The amount of time you'd have to listen. The first one is less.
Yep, 2 to 4 hour 2 to 4 hour seminars.
No, two
4 hour seminars. Sorry,
Yep.
or 3 hours a day for a fucking week.
Yeah.
To me, there's more interest in, and like I said, that's why I said the first one, because even though there's more vintage baseball guys, I still find it interesting. I would rather listen to somebody else, but if these are my choices, then I'm going that route because there's at least an interest. Because I could give two flying fucks about what the quote unquote next greatest thing is, and Will Greer being a 4 times better of an investment than Kyler Murray. I mean, no. I do like what LA Pat said, he'd go with SEI just so he could laugh. So I can't argue against that either, but this is true. This is true, LA Pat. Benny?
I'd go to the SCI. First day at a master class, the new term, and we're having a master class with this 28-year-old kid that only knows one friggin' card group. Okay, I digress. First day of SCI training. Hey, Jeff, it's Richard, you dork, not Richard. I get kicked out and I'm golden. Not Ken Golden, but golden. Ta-da! Or if I'm allowed to heckle the whole time or ask really dumb questions. You're my hero. What advice can you give to me about breathing? I'm sure you're an expert. Can you? It's just like, yeah, I'd go to SCI because I could heckle. The first one, whatever. I'd be sleeping in a chair. At least I'd get entertainment from the other one. So I got to go with LA Pats.
Man, that's a long time, though.
I could sleep. I'm like 7 years behind, so I get kicked out for snoring. Be shooting spitballs at people.
Farting.
Yeah.
Belching.
I'd do everything in my power to get kicked out if I was forced. This is almost like a customer or not community service punishment for the hobby.
Get a mic and tap it into the freaking PA system and crunch on a freaking chicken sandwich.
Yeah. BK, have it your way. Who said that? It's the beauty of Bluetooth there, Jeffrey. It's the beauty of Bluetooth. You just got to find a frequency, Kenneth.
That one. I know that one of the other ones, it's I don't even remember what it is, but it was quite intriguing.
Put the card in the card sleeve and put it in the top loader and do a little dance to it. We're making fun of ourselves. No, you have no idea the level of what making fun of yourselves would entail, because that isn't it. Trust us, it isn't it.
Michael may be joining us here shortly.
I was gonna say he sent me a message, but I'm like, I didn't even have the link copied.
No, I ended
rare times.
I know I sent it, and he was texting me. He's like, Dave doesn't love me anymore. I didn't get a link, and I was like, he probably forgot, and I didn't even think. It's like, oh yeah, I fucking sent the link tonight. So it's technically my fault, I guess. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, like I said, the weeks have been softball, work, softball.
So it's my fault. I didn't do it. Since I'm the one who sent the link tonight, Michael.
He did send it to me.
Well, just now.
Yeah.
Just now.
Better late than never.
And then I had to send it to myself through Messenger.
Yeah, I have to do the same thing because Dave does all this from his phone. So when he sends the link, he's already good.
Yeah.
We all use a laptop, so it's like, oh shit. Get it via text message, copy it, email it to yourself, or send it through Facebook Messenger or whatever.
I think there's only like 4 people I talk through text message. It's you, meaning Steve, and Brett, and Chris, and John. That's it. Everybody else is through Messenger.
I hate Facebook, so
I like Messenger a lot.
I hate it.
Yeah. But
that's just me.
IG Messenger works nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I do like using IG's Messenger unless I get to talking with somebody who sends 8 messages before I can reply to the first one.
Oh, yeah, that shit annoys me.
Those people make me not want to deal with them.
Or a ton of video links.
Yeah, Dave.
So how's everybody been?
Been good. Other than been a little heated this evening, but that's
yeah. I missed that.
Well, it'll be there for the watching if you choose to go back and watch it.
I say I will, but I won't.
Hey,
like I was saying in the chat over here, I'm gonna watch hoof trimming videos and watch guys repair old watches. That's what my YouTube feed is full of now.
Let's face it, it's like I have a shit ton of crap on my watch later list again. And it's like every once in a while I'll peruse through it. It's like, yeah, okay. Start it, thumbs up, remove from watch later. Start, thumbs up, remove from watch later. Because, I mean, that shit adds up. It's like, I think it's a total of like 4 hours of watch time, I think.
Yeah.
So I feel like I got to pick and choose with the way work has been over the last few months. I haven't been able to sit there and spend, an hour and a half or so and kind of get caught up on some videos that I really do want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Those I'll admit it, for those that, I want to watch, but it's like, shit, I've watched so many of their videos. Sure. Those are the ones that it's like start, thumbs up, remove.
Yeah.
And sorry, I have to say, I have a tendency to do that a lot to your videos.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't want to watch them. It's like shit.
Well, and a lot of it has been because of the Instagram and the Facebook stuff. I've already seen everything you're going to show because most people, I mean, I don't have the discipline to hold on to my stuff, make a video, wait for people to watch it before I post it. I get home, I open it, and I take pictures and I post it. And then I might make a video a month later.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, I watch when it comes to card videos, Drew is, as soon as I see a lefty NDV10 video pop up, I watch it just because I know I'm going to learn something.
Yeah, all the T206s and stuff that he's been dealing with. So I get that.
And now he's been I think the last video, he's been picking up caramel cards from Candies, and they've been interesting to watch.
I need more football guys.
Yeah. I got football cards in.
I did.
I got this one in today. Limited spotlight gold rookie patch auto on card of Randall Cobb out of 10. I don't pick up much Randall anymore, but this was a rookie card I had never seen. I had never seen the gold before. But I saw that, had to pick it up. And then this one popped up Friday morning. I woke up, my alarm went off. I picked up my phone and checked eBay, and this was on there for
Oh shit.
Wow.
the clear out of 10, which I already have a copy of. Somebody listed it for $38.99. Buy it now.
Oh shit, I would have snagged that shit all day long, and I'm not
Yeah.
a clay guy.
Yeah. I was like, I already have one. I don't care. I'm buying it for that because that's good trade bait, or I'll turn around and sell it for $100. Because
Wow.
that was stupid cheap. So
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you actually got that card.
I would, yeah. I just can't believe they listed it that cheap. Didn't make sense to me. But well, we were talking about what I bought last time I was on the last week. It showed up and it is a stunner.
It's pretty.
I'm so happy with that card. But that's the 3 cards that I've gotten in. That's all I had coming.
I keep perusing. I meant to bid on something yesterday. Meant to. Only because it was only creeping up a little bit, and past prices, it would go between 180 and like 250.
Mm-hmm.
And it was still sitting up under like $80 for the longest time. And I'm like, maybe I should just bid 160, because if I win it, fantastic. That's like a big win. Or fuck you people, I'm not going to let this sell for too cheap.
Yes.
And I didn't even do that. I got busy and I completely forgot about it. I mean, it went up in the middle of the day. So that's part of the issue as to why it went as cheap as what it did.
Mm-hmm.
But it sold for just under 121. And I was like, motherfucker.
Damn.
And it's one that has eluded me for a while. It's from O2 Tops. It's the what do they call it? The Super Bowl
autographs. Oh, the Ring of Honor.
Yep.
Oh, that's a big card.
Yep. One that has eluded me for many years. And sitting there doing a bunch of shit. I got wrapped up into like 3 escalations at the same time. And I was like, son of a bitch. And I was like, okay, yeah, well, I screwed that one up.
I know where a copy is, but it's in Grant's collection. He bought the whole set.
Wise.
Yeah.
Wise decision.
Yeah, he had an opportunity to buy it, and he didn't even think twice. He just said, "Oh, I'm going to buy it," because that set would be impossible to put together now.
Yep.
But it's the O2. He didn't have any of the supplemental ones that came out years later. But I mean, the first run is what you want anyway. That's got the Bart Stars, the Joe Montanas, the Tom Brady.
Yep.
The coolest, I want the Stars and I want the Desmond Howard from him. So I just keep giving him crap. I'm like, let me know when you lose enough gambling and I can buy those off you.
Oh, man. Yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm still a patient guy.
Yep.
My time will come.
I used to have the Rodgers. I can't remember what year that his was. Like, it would have probably been 2011 or 2012 tops when it came out, probably 2011. But I ended up trading it to Ryan, RBI, and he graded it, and it came back a 9 with a 10 auto. The auto had a thumbprint in it. It should never have gotten a 10 auto on it. You could see the fingerprint in it. So that was some good quality control there. Oh man.
So Michael I sent you a text message.
Did you?
It's still sending, but
Okay.
I sent that to our smaller group chat. But you'll kind of get an idea of what it is and what I've probably done to this point just by looking at it.
Okay.
So it just sent from my side.
Yeah, it says downloading on my end.
Yeah, it's a eBay post. When you first started collecting, to collect players or sets or just get whatever catches your eye.
Cool.
Basically, you turn back the clock. Would you collect the same way, or would you do it differently?
Since Michael just jumped on, we'll let him kick this one off.
I would do it differently than how I went about it. I like where I'm at now, but I wish this is how I had done it from the beginning. You know, picking up all the really trying to find really nice cards of the players that I like and get them into the collection. Whenever after I got back into collecting in 2010, I really enjoyed collecting Ryan Braun. And then I got bored of it and started going elsewhere and just turned it around and just kept flipping players that I was collecting. And I didn't like it. I sold Ryan Braun to buy Bubba Starling stuff. I sold Bubba Starling to buy Von Miller. I sold Von Miller to buy James Starks because that's how dumb I was. And then I sold James Starks stuff.
Not dumb.
Well,
not dumb.
Well, but I loved Von Miller. There was no reason to not keep collecting him, even though he was not a Packer. But to sell him to collect a running back just didn't make sense. And then I ended up getting rid of James Stark stuff. And that's when it came along to Clay Matthews. And that all started because of Chris. Chris sent me my first Clay Matthews auto, and I still have it in the collection. And that was 09 certified. The rookie auto, he sent that to me. And that was my first Clay, and then it just snowballed from there. But I think even going back to that time, I don't know that I would have collected Clay as heavily as I ended up doing. I think I would have diversified a long time ago and just had because I even tried doing it while I was collecting Clay. I had over a dozen Favre autographs at one time. I had half a dozen Rodgers. And then my defensive Hall of Fame PC was really big. And then I ended up selling all that stuff to grow the Clay collection more. And while I was happy with what I built, we see now that I trimmed it back down and I'm going back that route. And I think this is how I'm going to collect for a very long time. So
That's
I
fair.
think I would have gotten to this point quicker if I could do it over.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Vinny?
When I got back into the hobby, I would have probably bought boxes. The singles I'd have kept the same. Nah. I'd have probably went after rare stuff. I went after what I knew for the first 6 to 8 months, almost a year. And I think I critically lost stuff that I wasn't hip to or had knowledge thereof. I would look at it because my general Mario search was very broad. I would have probably bought the PMGs for $100. I did buy crazy stuff like, I don't even know if it's in here. Yeah. The 25, which is that. I think it's 25 of 25 even. It's eBay 101.
It's
That
an
is
eBay 25 of 25.
Yeah.
That's an awesome card.
And I
It's pretty.
paid like $30 for it, $40.
What's that parallel called?
That's the diamond. I think it's. I'd be lying if I told you because I don't know. It's the one at 25. The Star Rubies to 125. Joe just said another one popped for $125. If I didn't buy the Mirror Blue, I'd have had two of them. Because I have one, but two is better than one. And I have this thing called Dave Obsession where I want them all, like Pokemon. But I would have probably nailed down more things that were of a rare ilk. I would have probably bought wax like 05, 06 and 15, 16 for $80 a box because I thought I had time because I never knew it was going to explode. I figured I'm getting back in where nobody cares about this hobby right now. I mean, there's always money to be made. There's always things going on, but I didn't think that they would go, to use an Edwards term, is it parabolic or nuclear or something? I never thought it would go. I thought I had more time, and you never do. That's a big lesson I learned. If you want it, buy it. It's like Topps update last year for baseball. I thought I had time because I had a bunch of Series 1 and 2. I need to get a couple boxes to make the set for update. Put it off. Now it's expensive. I'll probably buy a box at maybe like a retail box so I can put the set together at National or something. But
buy the update set by itself on eBay and call it a day.
Yeah, I could do that too.
I know you like to put them together because you're a lot like me, but something like that, you'd be better off just buying somebody, paying $15, $20 for somebody who already put it together.
Yeah. But I wouldn't change much. I mean, if I would have changed it, I probably would have never met people. I think that's the most important friggin' thing of it all. If I wasn't looking at, and I was almost going from like, okay, I was like, I'm not going to do anything his rookie year because I can't, not that I couldn't afford it. I was putting funds into softball, soccer. I got 3 kids. They take the money first. It's the priority. And so I started with 1990, bought a bunch of 90, 91 wax, bought a bunch of the 90, 91 singles. Okay, let's go 91, 92, 92, 93, et cetera, et cetera. And I was kind of doing that, working my way up by year. Excuse me. Well, by the time I got to 96, 97, things started to get a little hairy in the hobby and things got expensive. But I'm at 2,048 unique Lemieux as of this morning. I checked before I came on, and I think that's a pretty solid number. The duplicates blow Joe's mind because he's like, well, how many? I said, dude, that's just what I have in Topps duplicates. So I'm like going to bill Joe as much as anything you're missing. I'm like, you have this? Send him a text at least once a week. You have this? You have this? Now I'll put them in a box for you. So, it's cool having another Lemieux collector too, because then I can I'll just give it to him. that's part of the thing. But I realizing I didn't have as much time as I did would probably be the only thing I would change. Not exactly, and probably not go in sequential years. I'd have skipped around more. I'd have been like, okay, rarest stuff first, Vinny, and then go back and get the stuff because you know it isn't rare.
Right.
So, but I've done pretty well, I think. In
You have.
I started really buying in 19, January of 19, seriously rebuilding. So it's been 4 years.
Right.
And I got back into it really in 17, but I was just dabbling and trying to learn. And I was like, okay, I got a good understanding, but knowing rarity, I should have acted quicker because I knew it was rare. That's why I could kick myself a lot. Like the 12, 13 stuff for Fleer Retro. Well, for me, that's the only PMGs for hockey. Those are the original PMGs. So, and I tried to take them down. Like I got the Flurry in the red and the blue. God never sent them to me. He was in Quebec. And they're coming. It's because of COVID. It's because of COVID. Well, he did that until I hit 90 days, and I wasn't paying attention. And 91 days hit, and the thing rolled off, and I couldn't make a claim. I should have. That's one guy that I should have nailed to the wall because I won those for $65 for the pair, and they're worth a lot more than that now. And I don't even like Marc-Andre Fleury. I wanted them for trade bait eventually. Grade them up, get them in a slab, and anybody want these? Anybody got some Lemieux? Here, I got these things. You know, and that's how I buy other cards too. If I see something dirt cheap and I know he's going to be a future Hall of Famer, zippity doo dah, I grab it.
That's the whatever catches your eye component. But you've done that more now than what you did then, though, too.
Nah, I've done that for a long time, but more now than then. I did it, but like you
That's
said, yeah, I got you.
that's what I'm getting at. It's more of a focal point nowadays than what it was in the
Yeah.
past.
Because I know a lot more now. It's amazing what you can learn in 4 years. Amazing. Between literature, websites, friends, YouTube, you learn a lot.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to learn. They said whatever, it's 10 minutes, the rule of 10. If you do something 10 minutes a day or something, in 2 years you become an expert. I wouldn't quite go that far, and I'm no expert, but I've learned enough where
Well,
I'm a little bit
it becomes ingrained.
yeah. And and going back, I knew 85 to roughly 97, 98. I was pretty good. But like 98, 99, 99, 2000, I had no idea what was going on. And even 97, 98 was rough because I was in college and I didn't have time to worry about cards, unfortunately. I'd go to shows if they were at the mall and I could take a bus there. I'd go spend $20 because that's all I had. And I'd have a couple of Lemieux here and there, but they were out of the dollar box. But as you get older, like they say, more disposable income, and there you go. Yep. I'll shut up now. Bye-bye.
Hey, you're just answering the question, man. Depends on where the path takes you in that situation. Some answers are shorter, some are longer.
Mine are always longer.
Not always. Not always.
Well, I have a big soapbox.
Yeah, we need to trim that down a little bit.
It's robust for my rotund size.
So would I change anything? Depends on what aspect of my collecting years we want to focus on. I will focus specifically on opening too much product and trying to sell the hits, thinking that it was going to make a damn bit of difference. I would have maintained, because I've always been a set collector to an extent. There was always enjoyment in that. I wouldn't say that I would have built more sets. I would have purchased more completed sets. Somebody else put the time and effort in, and do it for basically half the cost, rather than trying to build it yourself. I would have, because there for the longest time, and I haven't recreated the list. I had a list of sets that I want in the collection. And no, I'm not going to rattle any of them off because I refuse to have anybody buy them for me. So don't ask. But I've always had a list. And some of which I've scratched off over the years, a lot of which on occasion I go back and kind of look them up just to kind of see what the price point is. But now I'm too still focused on Terrell Davis stuff that it's like that's where the majority of my funds are going to go anyways. That or finding stuff for other people. The biggest thing I would have done differently, and I've shared this with Vinny in some of our past conversations. It is no secret, and Michael knows this too. I've always been a Topps Chrome guy, always. By far, always my favorite product of the year, and it didn't matter what the sport. I stuck with football, but it didn't matter the sport. And years ago, right around 05, 06, I started tracking set prices for baseball, basketball, and football for Topps Chrome sets, hand collated sets, including update and traded sets, specifically when it comes to baseball. And I had in my mind that I was going to acquire every Topps Chrome set there was. And I tracked it for about 8 months. And I found kind of the sweet spot. And I never executed. And I think I showed Vinny the spreadsheet of some of the prices that I was tracking. And at the time, like 96, 97, you could get for like $130. The refractor set you could get for like $300. You can't sniff those sets for that price. The 0304 was going for like $150. $150. Good luck. And it wasn't for the quote unquote investment potential. It's just because I love fucking Topps Chrome. And since I had done so much with football and I had acquired so many sets for football and I continued to add each year's set, I didn't build them because that got too expensive. I just bought them. Other than 2001. 2001 still a miss. At some point, I will fucking own it. I will own it. It may cost me more than what it should ever cost me, but I will own it at some point in time. It will happen. Mark my words, and it'll happen before I kick the bucket. Unless I die tomorrow. Knock on wood. But that is by far one of my biggest collecting regrets, I'll say, as it pertains to not following through and executing. Yeah. On a different front, I wish I never would have sold my Magic Revised and my Arabian Night set. I wish I would have continued my journey of trying to complete from unlimited up to whatever the current set was at the time. Now, my Arabian Nights wasn't fully complete. I didn't have the Bazaar of Baghdad, and I didn't have uh, uh, what's the other one? It's the Library of Alexandria, I think. Those are the two cards I was missing for the complete set. But regardless, I loved Magic in high school. I played it. I loved it. And I had the complete revised set, including all the dual lands, which, now go for like $3,000 and $4,000. I think I sold the set back in that day for like $300 or some shit. Dumb. The Arabian Nights set, I fucking majorly took it in the ass because I think a set of Arabian Nights goes like between like 8 and 10 grand now. But like I said, it's outside of the investment in the value. It's just the nostalgia of those cards and those sets. But I probably would have bought some of the more rare 90s stuff of Terrell Davis back in those days too, because I may never own them nowadays. So, Dave, you're up. Unless, Michael, you have a retort.
No, I was just going to add to that. I wish whenever I stopped collecting, whenever I was growing up through high school, when I stopped my junior year in 99, 97, 98, 99, I was buying up Alex Rodriguez stuff. And I had an incredible collection of him. But man, I really wish I had been buying up the football inserts and stuff. If I could have had the Favre stuff, man. Even some of the not big, huge, major ones are still several $100s to pick up. I'm like, well, I can't. There's one I really like. I think they were called, was it the 2000 men? Is that what they were called, Dave? They look like the jambalayas.
Mm-hmm.
Millennium Men.
Is that, were they called Millennium Men? Is that what they were? I just
think
remember
they were
there
called
was
Millennium Men.
Okay, and they're numbered out of 100. I absolutely love those cards. I would love to have a Favre, and somebody got one stupid cheap, not too terribly long ago, where somebody put it on eBay and didn't realize what they had, and they had it for like $50. And it's the same thing with this amongst Packer collectors. This was the holy shit, how did this happen thing. Somebody listed a Reggie White green PMG on eBay for $50. Buy it now. It was bought within seconds, and it actually shipped. And that Reggie that's probably, I would imagine, an $8,000 to $10,000 card. I would imagine that's what it would probably bring right now. And somebody got it for $50.
Oh, those are situations in which we would all love to stumble across.
Yeah.
Of course, then again, Dave owns a PMG green. It's not the best player. It's not the worst player. And I know what he paid for the entire lot of stuff that he got. And even if he put all the money into that PMG green, he would still be, what, 4 times, 5 times potential sell value wise?
3 to 4 times for sure. Just depending on the day. And who'd be out there willing to spend.
But if you think about it, on average, PMG greens, no matter who the player, average between what, 7 and a grand
Yep. I was
all
going to
day
say
long.
700 to 800 all day long.
Yeah.
And like I said, I say Dilger, other people say Dilger. It's Ken Dilger, the tight end from the Colts.
That's a known player.
He's not Hall of Fame, but he's not garbage either. He was a solid player for a lot of years. So, like I said, I know what he paid for the lot, and it was what, 20, 22, 24 different cards, parallels from that year. Like, the guy had no idea what he fucking had.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably did some basic searches on a few things and was like, yeah, this sounds good. This price, buy it now, best offer. I'm not going to give it away because that's not my place.
Right.
But when Dave sent it to me, he's like, is that what I think it is? And I'm like, yeah, that is. And I'm like, for that price, shit. And I was like, what are you thinking? He's like, after you responded, I took it. He's like, I didn't even wait. I took it down. I'm like, shit, dude, I don't blame you. I was like, because if you wouldn't have, I would have.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, back to you to be able to answer the question, though, at least, Dave. Sorry.
I would change completely. I mean, I wouldn't collect players in the way I've done it over the years. Go back to the inserts, go back to just, again, another generic term, zigging when others zagged. People are looking at like the game used in 02, 03, 2001, all the game used flooding the market. As that would have happened, okay, maybe the inserts are still high, the parallels are still high. I'll start banking some money, and then when that stuff either drops because like Leaf Limited comes out, or all the Leaf Certified, or the like the Absolute, the Contenders, all those cool autos come out, then you sort of just play the market. You play okay, everybody's on Chad Pennington now, but they're all off somebody else. Their Warner stuff goes down because he gets hurt or whatever the case may be. It's like when I go pick up some of that stuff that right when it came out, you couldn't. I'd probably keep all like the Favre inserts from back then that I had. I didn't have anything. I mean, I probably have a better selection of like the depth that I have now, and it's not even that many. I mean, I had everything you could find from like 90, 94, well, 93, 94, and 95. A healthy chunk of 96, except the stuff that, again, you weren't going to find on a gas station or a sort of like a variety store. The Ben Franklin's up here, where you could find the comics, candy, yarn, toys, books, just everything that you could think of in a little store. And 97, by that time, was you just couldn't get everything because there was so much going on. I'd go back to that type of stuff. If I'm going to play or collect anyone, it would have been Frank Thomas. I still have a ton of stuff from him. Just because he would have ran right along, follow him. That, again, White Sox, I'm a huge Sox fan. Talked about it earlier. Favorite card, still 1990 score, Frank Thomas. That's the card that'll always be my favorite. Reason why my dad bought me the set when we were in, I think Cedar Rapids, Cedar Falls, whatever, in Iowa. Waterloo's right next to it. I think it's all the Quad Cities. And got the card out, busted the set open. It has a fucking print stain or a print mark on it. The old green, neon green mark, and then being 10, going on 11 years old, seeing the main card in that set you wanted. You love the set because I mean the rookies, all the blue borders, all like the little rookie on there. So many solid rookies in their draft picks. The Bo Bat Breaker. Seeing that, you're just like, shit. Now what? So I think they had the score address on the wrapper. I actually wrote a letter, sent to Frank Thomas in, something to the effect, hoping I could get like a one that didn't have print blotch on there, because again, this favorite card. Actually getting a letter back with a non-defective copy of the card. That just adds to it, but yeah, it would definitely not be. I would do what I did from like 2016 to like 2019. It's all the Hall of Fame stuff. It would just be pretty much Hall of Fame inserts, and then after that, just picking up whatever. It's a Koufax 30 year, if it's a Nolan Ryan rookie, if it's a Ricky Henderson rookie, whatever it is, it's just like, no, I'm gonna fuck around, see what comes along, and again, while everybody waits in line for tickets to this concert, I'll be over here waiting for that venue to open up and go there and to see what's going on there, and not always buy into the breaks or rip wax, and just always be there and say, hey, if you got anything you're parting with, let me know. Instead of just always jumping on players. Again, it worked well to some degree, and most of the time it's fucking just cratered out. So that would be, I would not change, or I would not do the way I've done. And I don't recommend that for anyone.
Yeah, I won't ever collect a player again like I did Clay. Yeah, I won't do that unless for some strange reason I had a personal connection to whoever the player was.
Yep.
That's the only way.
All right, Dave. Coming up on 2:15. Didn't know if you wanted to trim this down and focus on at least one more before we call it a night.
We'll use this one because, again, I see thought I'd an error given what it's within a reasonable price.
Maybe you should start this one off.
I think it would be harder for the latter. If I saw the Topps Chrome Super 06 JJ, and it was there, and again, it was within a reasonable price. I'm not saying like $2,000, that's not a reasonable price. It's like 500. Again, that's more than I want to spend on it. Knowing my collection and knowing where that would sit in it especially being the 06 year, not to be able to bring that home, that may just turn me off from like collecting. It sounds fucking weak. It sounds shallow because you can sit there and say, well, I've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. So I don't get R, but you still have all those other letters plus like the rest, plus double letters, number, whatever. When you have the depth of the collection and the fucking just the insanity where you're a completionist, and it isn't like a Tom Brady. It's not like, oh man, I want to get every Tom Brady. So, well, that's not going to happen. A, you better fucking have Elon Musk money, or you better have started immediately when Brady came out, and so put some sort of caveat on. Because like now, last 5-10 years, good luck, especially some of those patch autos out of Absolute and of the likes. So I could easily, I think it'd be, well, not easily, it'd be tough, but I'd find it much more easy to go to National, not buy a card, instead of stumbling across a grail and being like, I can't leave National without it, but I have to. And it's not because somebody fucking priced you completely out of the market.
The good news is none of your friends would let you leave without it.
Well, yes, but at the same time, just like before when I said
that kind of cheats the question, but
yes,
but yeah. But I've experienced the first part of this and survived. I don't ever want to feel the second one. Because like you said, it would probably end collecting for me.
Yep.
Because I have 2 cards for Clay that if I were able to get them, I would probably not buy another one of his cards. And that's the 2012 and 2015 Chrome Supers, because that would complete my whole run of his top Chrome Super Fractors. I would pay $1,000 a piece for those cards. I've never seen them. I would pay that much money for them, and I would then close up that part of my collecting. So that would be the grails. If I were to see them, those would be the ones I would consider grails. And if I couldn't come home with them, I don't know what I would do. But yeah, I wanted to answer that before I got off here tonight. Yeah, I've gone to two. I think I've gone to two of the nationals. I've gone to. I haven't bought a card, and even the last one that I went to, I want to. Oh no, I take that back. I did buy one the last day I was there. And say the other cards I got there, I purchased from Smitty, so I didn't even buy them at the show. But I did buy the Alex Honnold Goodwin Champions auto from the show. But that wasn't even something I was looking for. I just looked in a case and saw it was there, and the price on it already was fair. And then I got it for $20 less than that. So that was nice. But
nothing wrong with that.
Nope. But anyway, I'm gonna call it a night. Go hang out with the wife before I gotta go to bed. But As always, good talking to you guys.
Yes,
Appreciate you
thank
jumping
for
on,
popping
Michael.
Yeah. I liked this with all the different questions. I think that's a cool format.
On occasion, Dave gets pretty creative.
Yeah, this was a good one. I like this.
Dave is known for his setup.
Yeah.
Should have
And
known.
punctuality.
He was
I was
actually
actually
on,
the first
he
one
was
here.
here on time.
Hell yes.
We just we started late because he was typing up the banners.
I wouldn't have known. I was late. I was still at work. But anyway, you all have a good night and good rest of your week.
You just say, Michael.
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 Later.
Later. So I'm gonna have to go with the first one. I've said this on multiple occasions. I mean, I hope to find something that I'm looking for my boys, but at the end of the day, if I don't buy anything, it doesn't change anything. Like what you and Michael both said, to stumble across something that you would, and I'll even go lower than a grail and say something in like your top 5
Mm-hmm.
of cards on the list. That would be hard. But also, like Michael said, it's one of those in which, in those situations, it would be, everybody would be hard pressed to to not make sure that you still didn't come home with it. Everybody would have probably pitched in something in that situation within reason, like you said, with the caveat, within a reasonable price point. So it, and I would agree that would definitely, like, I don't say it would stop me from collecting per se. It may stop the focus on Terrell Davis in that situation, because I'd never stop collecting. I would just shift my focus again. I'd go back to sets because that's what I've always done. And being patient, I usually, a lot of the sets that I've purchased, I've got for pretty damn good deals. So it would definitely put a damper on the Terrell Davis aspect. I'd probably stop focusing for sure and shift. But it's tough because, one, I've never been to a national, so it's like it's hard to answer the question per se, but at the same time, if I go and not purchase a single thing, it's not going to change anything. It's the latter that would really hurt. For sure. Vinny?
I don't think I have a Grail card anymore, to be honest. If I never get the PMG blue of 1213, if I don't get the run for the cup from 96 97 Black Diamond.
That's why I also changed it, like top 5 card.
Yeah. I don't think I care anymore. It's been the last month. I just sitting there looking at what I have and putting that checklist together. Even like the homegrown Canada for Lemieux out of that tops, and I've had 2 slip through my hands. First one I didn't have a picture of, so I don't even want to count it. But the second one, bid like $170 for it, and I'm like, if I don't buy it, like, by God, as Edward would say. I'm not so crushed over it anymore. I don't know what it is. It's a dog trying to get through the wall. I don't know. I think it's when Ghost got sick and I was prepared to stop collecting when I thought he could get better. And I mentally prepared myself to leave this hobby and pay for the pills he would need for the next 2 years. When the doctor told me what it would take to keep him going, I think I sat there, reasoned everything out to myself, and said, none of this is more important than my dog. I think that's what did it for me. It was about a month ago. And even if I bought $5 cards here and there, it's like just to hang out with you guys is worth more important. So I could go there and get nothing. I'd rather get stuff for C. And if she really enjoys it, like she's like hell bent on hanging out with young Edward and buying Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff because Ed loves that stuff. And I mean, it's that's the kind of things that get me juiced because she don't know Edward from anybody. She knows Ed from the show and seen him here and there, but she knows he loves that stuff and the Dragon Ball Z and the Naruto and all that stuff. And she just is tickled pink that she can find somebody that loves that stuff. And to watch her do that, like you said, I don't care if I pick up a friggin' card or not. I'd rather be, like C said, picking up stuff for other people, or if I find it and it's reasonable and I don't come home with it because I bought her something instead, or I chipped in to get you your JJ Superfractor, I rather would have spent that last $200 in my wallet and said, "Here, Dave," because it's more important. You got a Grail. Me, I think the other thing is, like Steve said, is the patience now. Mother of God, have you gotten the thing of Ghost in there? Galaxy? Good God. Ghost would bark. He whines. For the love of the Lord. Anyhow, squirrel. I'd rather just do that because to me it's bumping into somebody that we didn't think was there be worth more than a card. You know? Oh, there's LA Pats. Boom. What the heck? Didn't think he was going to be there. And, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, if I don't come home with a single card or if I miss the Grail or whatever it is, whatever. I just don't. Now, do I still get mad when I lose stuff? Yeah. Have I spent money for the National to get that mirror blue? Yeah. Am I going to be short that much money to go to National? Yeah. But am I going to find that for the same price at the National? Probably not. I got the card I wanted. It was a high one on my list. And it's mine now. And if I see stuff that's reasonable, I don't want to blow my whole wad of cash to get one card. I don't know why my mind sets that. I'd rather get more stuff than one single thing. I don't know. It's just how my mind works. I'd rather get card number 6 and 7 on the list than card number 1. Because I could be patient and that number 1 card will come to me one day. And if it doesn't, oh well. Had a heck of a time, man. Had a heck of a time. There we go. Come here, dog.
Well, we got through most of them.
Mhm.
I think there was 2 left.
Yeah.
I think there was 2 left.
Could we short answer them, or they take long?
They're a little. One of them's definitely a little bit more in depth. And of course, next week's episode, it's not like we can say, well, we can cover off the next 2 next week. No.
The week after that, then.
Next week. Everybody be on time.
We will for once. We will be ish.
Well, maybe a couple minutes. It all depends on the guest, but we will all be patiently waiting.
guests.
Well, one's a repeat guest, but yes, we will have guests. You're not going to want to miss it, folks.
It's gonna be good. Better than the gabagool, which I tried to get tonight. And I walked in there, they go, we went to make your sandwich. We don't have any bread. I'm like, huh? You're a sub shop. He's like, well, I got everything bread. And I got this kind of bread and that kind of bread. And I'm like, that's the antithesis, direct opposite of plain bread. No, thank you. Bye-bye.
And no, it will not be Bob Lewis.
Start worrying
That's
if I
true.
start speaking Croatian. Then you got to worry, Ty.
This is one we've never had. So, big deal. Big deal. All right, Dave. Wrap us up.
Especially for us.
100%. No, not Lob Lewis or any other deviation of his name that it's not chair. No Blob Lewis deviations at all.
And no Blob Lewis, no.
Sir Bob Lewis.
Yeah. Whatever alias he wants to go by this week.
No Bob Lewis's chair. None of that.
No Bob Lewis's midnight snack cereal. And nothing.
That's usually in the after hours.
Yeah.
No meat stick shard stuck in his teeth.
No.
That's doing. I'm glad these are in top loaders. As he, I haven't watched the episode, the Christmas episode this week. Maybe that's why I'm off.
Oh, go figure. You have the link, Bob, if you want to come hang out in the after show for a little bit.
Yeah, for a very little bit, I'm nearly dying. So it's not a shock. That's why. If I could have slept the whole episode, I probably would have. Not gonna lie, but
well, we need to at least get filled in on stuff. So you have to at least
things.
You have to be awake enough for that. So
Tybo on it, brother. Tybo.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up.
Thank you for all jumping in, answering these awesome questions that nobody else is going to bring you. Hypotheticals. Again, next week, be fucking sure you're here. That's, again, it cannot be stated enough. So, for Vinny, for Steve, for Michael, again, thank you for coming on. I'm Dave. This has been the Insert Revolution podcast. Remember, collecting cards, it's an absolutely wonderful hobby. The friendships that you forge during the journey of collecting in the hobby, that's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.